My topic for discussion today, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of consistency, a basic idea that has the capacity to completely change your life. All success is based on consistency, which is its cornerstone. It is the process of performing an action repeatedly and consistently in order to get the desired result. Let's look at some strategies for making oneself consistent so you can benefit from persistent work. Every successful individual is aware that routine behavior creates habits. An activity becomes ingrained in your routine when you do it again. The first step towards mastery is this. Your success in both your personal and professional life will be determined by the habits you form by regular practice. Throughout history, successful people have recognized and applied the essential fact that habits are formed via consistency. A constant commitment to a particular action starts to mold your behavior and mentality. This may take some deliberate effort and resolve at first, but with practice, it will become second nature to you. The reason habituation is important is that it frees up brain energy, enabling you to concentrate on more difficult tasks while the automatic acts become routine. Think about the case of picking up a musical instrument. Every note, chord, and movement feels difficult at the beginning. It requires you to synchronize your movements, place your fingers in the right places, and learn how to strum or press the keys. This first stage is frequently rife with errors and frustrations. But if you practice regularly, these movements begin to come naturally to you. Your coordination gets better, your fingers glide over the instrument with ease, and you can play without having to think about each action. The power of constant practice allows one to reach this degree of expertise. When it comes to physical fitness, the same rules apply. When you begin an exercise program for the first time, you may experience tough exercises and stiffness in your muscles. It can be demoralizing to face resistance at first, but if you persevere and stick to a regular training regimen, your body starts to adjust. Your muscles get stronger, your endurance rises, and the seemingly impossible activities become doable. This changes the outcome of regular, consistent effort rather than sporadic, intensive workouts. Your body adjusts to the frequent stimulation, and you eventually form an exercise habit that improves your general health and well-being. Professional growth is another area in which consistency is essential. Workplace competencies, including time management, problem solving, and effective communication, are developed with consistent practice. If your goal is to become a better public speaker, for example, giving a speech once a year won't get you very far. Nonetheless, your skill and confidence will increase if you develop the habit of speaking in front of an audience on a regular basis, whether at meetings, presentations, or casual get-togethers. Every speaking chance builds on the one before it, and eventually you form a confident and lucid communication habit. Even little daily acts of consistency can have big long-term effects. Consider the practice of reading. Even though reading a few pages each day might not seem like much, over the course of a year, this tiny daily practice can lead to the completion of multiple books, which will broaden your viewpoint and understanding. Reading regularly can help you gain knowledge that will improve your understanding, creativity, and problem-solving skills in both your personal and professional life. Consistency in habit formation has a powerful effect on interpersonal interactions as well. Sustaining and establishing solid connections demands constant work. Mutual respect and trust are built on a foundation of kindness, consistent communication, and being there for one another when they need each other. Your relationships with your loved ones are strengthened by your persistent acts, which show your dedication and concern. Consistently nourished relationships are typically more resilient and satisfying. It is critical to recognize that developing consistent habits is a journey fraught with difficulties. There will be days when you feel unmotivated, things get difficult, and things move slowly. It's critical to keep in mind the greater picture and the long-term advantages of consistency throughout these moments. Recognize that every little step, regardless of how little it may appear, matters in the grand scheme of things. Accept the journey and practice self-compassion while you strive for your objectives. Setting clear, attainable goals and developing an organized plan to achieve them will help you maximize the impact of consistency. Divide your more ambitious goals into smaller, more doable chores that you can accomplish on a regular basis. Acknowledge your accomplishments along the path and make use of these turning points as inspiration to press on. Remember that daily acts taken steadily and consistently are more important for achievement than intermittent spurts of effort. What makes you successful will be determined by the habits you form from regular practice. You lay the groundwork for mastery and development when you make a commitment to consistent behavior. The importance of consistency in developing new abilities, enhancing one's physical health, moving up the career ladder, and maintaining relationships cannot be understated. To achieve greatness, embrace the journey, remain dedicated to your objectives, and let consistency be your compass. It's not always simple to maintain consistency. We face challenges in life, and it's during these times that our dedication is put to the test. You have to become resilient if you want to stay consistent. Accept obstacles as chances to get more determined. Recall that persistence rather than perfection is what is meant by consistency. The path to consistency is paved with obstacles that put our resolve and dedication to the test, even in the face of failures. When we start out to do anything, we frequently picture a straight road. In actuality, though, expected and unexpected roadblocks are a necessary component of the procedure. These difficulties may manifest in several ways: external events, uncertainties within, or unforeseen disruptions. Our success ultimately depends on how we handle these challenges. The existence of outside interruptions is one of the most frequent obstacles to consistency. These can be unanticipated events that require our attention, abrupt duties, or changes in our surroundings. Consider the scenario when you decide to start a daily workout regimen only to find that you have a busy job schedule that doesn't provide much time for exercise. One's first instinct could be to give up on the workout routine entirely. But adaptation is the key to overcoming these obstacles. Rather than giving up, try coming up with alternate plans, like changing the timings of your workouts or adding shorter, more intensive sessions to keep the momentum going. Internal obstacles like insecurity and demotivation are also serious risks to consistency. Since these mental struggles are a result of our thinking, they are frequently more challenging to overcome. Self-doubt can undermine our self-assurance and cause us to mistrust our capacity for commitment. A lack of drive can sap our vitality and cause us to be inconsistent and put off tasks. It is essential to develop a resilient mindset in order to overcome these internal obstacles. This entails being aware of negative ideas and actively rephrasing them to be more positive. Confidence and motivation can be increased by utilizing affirmations, visualizing success, and concentrating on prior accomplishments. To remain consistent in the face of difficulty, one must learn resilience. Being resilient is having the capacity to pick oneself up after failures and carry on. It entails adopting a mentality that sees difficulties as chances for personal development as opposed to impassable barriers. Resilient people examine the circumstances, take what they can from it, and modify their strategy when confronted with adversity. Maintaining consistency over time requires this adaptable mindset. For instance, resilient business people examine what went wrong, make the required corrections, and carry on with newfound zeal in the event that a significant setback occurs in their enterprise. They do not allow setbacks to diminish their overall dedication, since they recognize that they are a natural part of the journey. Seeing obstacles as chances to fortify determination is a potent tactic for preserving constancy. Every challenge offers an opportunity to learn new things, acquire wisdom, and strengthen one's character. Difficulties force us to step outside of our comfort zones and think outside the box in order to come up with original answers. Overcoming obstacles not only helps us stay on course, but it also strengthens our skills and resilience. An athlete preparing for a marathon, for example, can have physical constraints or injuries. In addition to overcoming the immediate obstacle, the athlete gains knowledge and resilience by collaborating with coaches, modifying training regimens, and concentrating on recuperation. It's critical to keep in mind that consistency does not equate to perfection. A common misconception is that consistency necessitates perfect performance devoid of any flaws. They are set up for discouragement and disappointment by these irrational expectations. Being consistent does not mean never experiencing failures. Rather, it means persevering through them. It all comes down to making consistent progress, no matter how small. Accepting this knowledge enables us to treat ourselves more gently when things do not go as planned. It's important to pick yourself back up after a setback or missing a day of your regimen, instead of giving up completely. The true test of consistency is one's capacity to bounce back fast and carry on. Staying consistent requires having a clear vision and purpose. It is easier to remain dedicated to a project throughout difficult times when you have a clear understanding of why you are pursuing it. This objective serves as a beacon, reminding you of the greater picture and the long-term advantages of your work. For instance, a student studying for a difficult test could experience moments of frustration and fatigue. But having an end goal in mind, like earning a degree or starting a career, gives one the will to persevere through challenging study sessions and maintain consistency in their efforts. Support networks are also essential in assisting us in maintaining consistency. It can be quite beneficial to be around people who support and challenge us. These people could be mentors, peer groups, or encouraging friends. People who support us and serve as a constant reminder of our abilities and aspirations can increase our commitment and perseverance. To maintain consistency in academic or fitness goals, joining a study group or fitness community, for example, might offer the support and accountability needed. The path to consistency is paved with obstacles that put our devotion and fortitude to the test. To get past these barriers, we need to cultivate a resilient mindset. See setbacks as chances for improvement and keep in mind that consistency is more about perseverance than perfection. Through maintaining a well-defined objective, enlisting assistance, and adjusting to evolving situations, we can maintain consistency in our endeavors and finally get our intended results. Despite obstacles, consistency is the real test of our commitment and the secret to long-term success. The foundation of consistency is self-control. This is the capacity to remain in charge of your behavior, maintain focus on your objectives, and withstand the need to stray from your course. Self-control is similar to a muscle. It gets stronger with continued activity. Make a promise to yourself to maintain self-control in your endeavors. Self-control is the foundation of all sustained effort. When outside events or internal diversions pose a threat to our direction, it is our internal motivation that keeps us moving forward. Our attempts to be consistent are likely to fail if we lack self-control. Anyone hoping to succeed over the long term must comprehend and develop this quality. The ability to manage your activities is one of the main components of self-discipline. It is more difficult but not impossible to remain in control of one's behavior in a world where there are always diversions and rapid pleasure. It entails making deliberate decisions that support your objectives even when such decisions are challenging or unappealing. For example, exercising self-discipline while working on a big project entails shutting off social media notifications, establishing boundaries for work hours, and adhering to a planned routine. This degree of control makes sure that your activities are always moving you closer to your goal instead of taking you away from it. Maintaining goal concentration is another essential element of self-control. It is simple to let short-term joys or distractions divert attention from long-term goals. It takes self-control to have a clear idea of what you want to accomplish and to keep working toward it. This entails constantly reminding yourself of the greater picture and the significance of your objectives. This attention can be strengthened with the use of visualization tools, goal-setting activities, and frequent reflection. You can move through times of low motivation or outside interruptions with a steady determination if you maintain your focus on the goal. I think the hardest part of self-control is not giving in to the want to stray from your course. Procrastination, giving into bad habits, or just taking the easiest route are examples of various temptations. A strong will and a strong dedication to your objectives are necessary to resist these temptations. Anticipating potential temptations and making plans for how to respond to them beforehand is one useful tactic. For instance, if you are aware that you often watch television to put off tasks, you might schedule particular times for unwinding and observe them. Or you could eliminate the temptation by setting up a distraction-free workspace. You are better able to resist temptation when you have a plan in place. It's helpful to think about self-control as a muscle. Self-discipline is strengthened by constant practice, much as physical muscles get stronger with persistent exercise. You become more capable of making disciplined decisions in the future with each one you make. On the other hand, you weaken this muscle every time you give in to temptation. This knowledge emphasizes how important it is to practice discipline on a daily basis. Whether it's waking up early, keeping to a study plan, or exercising regularly, these tiny habits add up to greatly improve your general self-discipline. A declaration of purpose is when you promise yourself that you will continue to follow your goals with discipline. This pledge needs to be precise, definite, and steadfast. It entails establishing clear objectives, laying out the measures required to reach them, and resolving to persevere through difficulties. Putting your goals in writing, making vision boards, or routinely assessing your progress are just a few ways to reaffirm this commitment. You can create a concrete reminder of your devotion by externalizing it, which can be very inspiring when things are tough. It's also critical to understand that exercising self-control does not entail being inflexible or stiff. There will be moments when plans need to be modified since life is unpredictable. The capacity to adjust and make deliberate choices that support your overall objectives, even when they require straying from the initial plan, is a necessary component of true self-discipline. This flexibility guarantees that unanticipated events won't derail you and keep you on course. Self-control, or the capacity to restrain your impulses, feelings, and behaviors in the service of long-term objectives, is closely related to self-discipline. Understanding your triggers and devising practical strategies to deal with them are essential to developing self-control. For instance, discovering better ways to manage stress, like meditation or physical activity, might help you keep your self-control if stress causes you to overeat or skip workouts. Building long-lasting self-control requires an awareness of these patterns and intentional action to address them. Self-control has advantages that go beyond reaching particular objectives. It improves your feeling of self-efficacy and general well-being. Making disciplined decisions on a regular basis gives you confidence that you can accomplish your goals. This self-assurance can start a positive feedback cycle in which your discipline gets stronger with each accomplishment, which then leads to more accomplishments. Furthermore, exercising self-control helps you feel more in charge of your life and less powerless over your circumstances. Consistency is built on a foundation of self-control. It calls for the capacity to restrain yourself, maintain concentration on your objectives, and withstand temptations. You can develop this crucial quality by thinking of self-control as a muscle that gets stronger with frequent exercise, setting clear goals for yourself and continuing to be flexible. You may attain your objectives, improve your general well-being, and cultivate a strong feeling of self-efficacy with self-discipline. Recall that consistent, disciplined decision-making over an extended period of time paves the way for consistency and success. Retaining consistency requires setting small, sustainable goals. Your bigger goals become more manageable and less intimidating when you divide them up into smaller activities. Reward minor accomplishments along the journey to maintain motivation. You are getting closer to your ultimate goal with every step you take. Establishing the habit of consistency. Reaching long-term objectives might frequently appear like a daunting task. When confronted with a lofty goal, it's common to become intimidated by the sheer size of the work at hand. This is where the tactic of establishing modest, doable objectives is useful. Your bigger goals will seem less daunting and more doable if you divide them up into smaller, more manageable activities. One of the main advantages of having tiny goals is that they give you a precise, well-defined plan of action. Large objectives may be nebulous and abstract, making it challenging to know where to begin. But when you break these objectives down into more focused, manageable activities, you'll have a step-by-step action plan. This clarity keeps you from getting lost or overwhelmed by the size of the goal, which is essential for keeping concentration and direction. Let's say your objective is to write a book. This is a major project that will take a lot of time and work to complete. Rather than obsessing over the enormous undertaking of finishing the book, divide it into more manageable objectives, like writing a specific amount of pages every day or finishing a chapter every week. You may make steady progress toward the bigger goal without getting bogged down by it by concentrating on these minor chores. You get closer to finishing the book with each chapter you finish, which makes it seem less daunting and more achievable. Establishing modest objectives also enables you to gain momentum. A little goal's sensation of accomplishment can be a powerful source of motivation. This drive can help you advance, starting a fruitful circle of success and momentum. Every little accomplishment gives you more confidence in your capacity to succeed, which motivates you to take on the next assignment with excitement. Making small, steady improvements keeps you interested and involved in the process, which is essential for consistency. A crucial step in this process is to acknowledge and celebrate modest accomplishments. One way to feel fulfilled and satisfied is to give yourself a tiny assignment or reward when you finish it. These festivities don't have to be elaborate or even complicated. Rewarding yourself with something you enjoy, taking a quick break, or telling people about your achievement are examples of acknowledgements that can encourage positive behavior and keep you going. It is simpler to maintain consistency over time when you establish a positive link with your efforts by acknowledging your progress and applauding your accomplishments. The flexibility and adaptability that come with setting small, achievable goals is another important benefit. Because life is unpredictable, things might change suddenly. Having a big, inflexible aim makes it hard to modify your plans when something new comes up. Smaller objectives, on the other hand, are more flexible and can be changed as necessary without impairing your overall development. This adaptability guarantees that you can maintain consistency in the face of unforeseen difficulties or roadblocks. To guarantee that you keep moving forward without feeling overburdened, you might modify your minor goals to suit your existing schedule. For instance, if you come across a particularly hectic time at work, creating and strengthening habits can also be facilitated by breaking down large goals into smaller chores. Over time, habits are developed by repetitive behavior. Establishing small, achievable goals and steadily pursuing them helps you establish a pattern that supports good behavior. Long-term success depends on this regular practice, since it helps you integrate the desired behaviors into your everyday routine. These routines become second nature with time, which makes it simpler to maintain consistency and accomplish your bigger objectives. Minimal objectives offer chances for introspection and modification. You get the option to evaluate your progress as you finish each little assignment and adjust your strategy as needed. You may enhance your efficiency, hone your tactics, and learn from your experiences through this iterative process. You can make sure that you are always making the most of your efforts and going in the right direction by routinely assessing and modifying your goals. Additionally, establishing small, achievable goals lowers the chance of burnout. Focusing only on a big, long-term goal might quickly wear you out and sap your motivation. It can be exhausting to always feel pressured to reach a big goal. This might result in burnout and lower productivity. Smaller objectives, on the other hand, offer regular breaks and periods of success, enabling you to refuel and maintain motivation. This well-rounded strategy guarantees that you may continue to be consistent and put up long-term work without compromising your well-being. Establishing modest, doable objectives is a great way to stay consistent. You can establish a clear and actionable plan that lowers intimidation and offers a roadmap for success by dividing down major objectives into smaller actions. While smaller goals allow for flexibility in the face of adversity, celebrating minor triumphs along the road keeps you interested and motivated. And additionally, this strategy lowers the danger of burnout, promotes beneficial behaviors, and offers opportunity for introspection and modification. You get closer to your ultimate objective with every little step you take, which strengthens your consistency habit and opens the door to long-term success. Establishing a solid routine is essential to consistency. Structure and predictability are provided by routines. To make sure that your routine helps you achieve your goals, make a daily or weekly timetable that works with your goals. To begin, list the essential actions and activities that are necessary to accomplish your objectives. Create a schedule that allots time for each task once you have a firm grasp on these priorities. To prevent overcommitting oneself, be honest about how much time each work will really take and make sure your calendar is balanced. If you are working on a project, for example, set aside certain time slots for research, writing, and editing. Don't forget to leave time for breaks and downtime. It's critical that you follow your regimen to the letter. Maintaining a regular schedule helps establish momentum and strengthen routine behavior. Unexpected things happen and things change all the time. But if you try your best to stick to your schedule, you'll stay on course. If it's vital to deviate from your routine, make proactive schedule adjustments to account for the changes without sacrificing your overarching objectives. For instance, move your workout to a later time of day or change the length to accommodate your new schedule if a work meeting interferes with your usual exercise period. Self-control and discipline are also fostered by a well-established routine. Following a schedule necessitates dedication and persistence, which over time strengthens these qualities. When you adhere to your routine religiously, you cultivate a discipline that benefits other aspects of your life, as well as the routine itself. This improved discipline strengthens your capacity to be consistent by making it simpler to block out distractions and stay focused on your objectives. Routine building is forming a support system for your objectives through habits. Automatic behaviors that form via frequent repetition are called habits. Certain behaviors gradually become ingrained habits that take less conscious effort when you adopt them into your routine. For instance, if you make it a habit to review your goals and organize your day first thing in the morning, this will help you develop good habits that will carry over throughout the remainder of your day. You may establish a foundation for consistency that develops into second nature by including these constructive actions into your daily routine. It's also a good idea to periodically assess and modify your regimen. You may find that your requirements and priorities shift as you move closer to your objectives. By evaluating your routine on a regular basis, you can better align it with your changing goals. This adaptability helps you stay consistent even when things change by ensuring that your routine stays applicable and efficient. You can modify your regimen to suit your new objectives, such as increasing the intensity of your workouts after reaching a fitness milestone. Consistency requires the development of a solid routine. Establishing a clear and well-defined routine facilitates focus and efficiency by offering structure, organization, and a reduction in decision fatigue. Establishing a daily or weekly routine that complements your objectives and adhering to it as closely as possible helps you cultivate discipline and sustain good habits. Maintaining the efficacy and applicability of your routine requires regular reviews and adjustments. In the end, having a solid routine helps you succeed in the long run by bolstering your efforts. Keeping yourself accountable is essential to making sure your goals are met. This entails being accountable for your deeds and advancement, while also remaining receptive to criticism and assessment. By sharing your objectives with others, you can build a network of support that will help you stay accountable. To keep in line with your goals, evaluate your success on a regular basis and make any adjustments to your strategy. A key component of success and consistency is accountability. It entails accepting accountability for your deeds and results and realizing that you are in charge of your own advancement toward your objectives. Holding oneself responsible creates a sense of accountability that motivates you to remain dedicated and focused. This personal commitment is essential for consistency because it guarantees that you are actively pursuing your goals rather than idly watching chances pass you by. Keeping others informed about your objectives is a great way to stay accountable. By sharing your goals with friends, family, and co-workers, you build a network of encouragement and support. You become more motivated as a result of this external commitment, as you are now accountable to other people for your advancement. The knowledge that people are aware of your objectives may motivate you to make the required sacrifices and prevent yourself from failing. If your objective is to become a better public speaker, for instance, discussing it with a mentor or encouraging friend might help you achieve it by offering insightful criticism and inspiration. Their knowledge of your objective instills in them a sense of duty and drives them to continue being consistent. It's critical to create a formal accountability framework in addition to communicating your goals. This may entail scheduling frequent check-ins with a coach, mentor, or accountability partner. During these check-ins, you can evaluate your progress, talk about any difficulties you're having, and get helpful criticism. These meetings are structured, which makes it easier for you to stay focused and make the necessary modifications to stay on course. Having monthly sessions with a career coach, for example, can assist you in evaluating your progress toward a professional progression goal, setting new targets, and resolving any roadblocks. Monitoring your development on a regular basis is another essential part of being accountable. This entails assessing your accomplishments, pinpointing your areas for development, and modifying your tactics as necessary. Regular evaluations assist you in maintaining focus on your goals and certify that you are making significant advancements. You may recognize your accomplishments, draw lessons from your mistakes, and improve your strategy by thinking back on your development. For instance, evaluating your schedule's adherence on a regular basis might help you see trends, make the required corrections, and keep getting better if your personal development objective is to improve your time management abilities. Remaining receptive to criticism and assessment is necessary to uphold accountability. Positive criticism gives you important information about your performance and places for improvement. It gives you a fresh perspective on your work and enables you to see any blind spots that might be impeding your advancement. You may improve your methods and make well-informed decisions by accepting comments with an open mind. If your objective is to become a better leader, for example, asking for input from team members or co-workers can help you identify your areas of strength and weakness and adjust your strategy accordingly. You may make sure that you stay on track with your goals by modifying your methods in response to feedback and progress reports. Your objectives, unexpected obstacles, or shifts in the situation could force you to adjust your strategy. Maintaining consistency and staying on course is facilitated by being flexible and prepared to make the required changes. For instance, modifying your exercise regimen or looking for alternate ways to reach your objective will help you keep moving forward while handling any new difficulties if you are working toward a health-related goal and encounter unforeseen health complications. Establishing precise deadlines and benchmarks is another aspect of upholding responsibility. Milestones help you stay motivated by breaking down your larger goals into smaller, more achievable tasks and by providing concrete indicators of your progress. Setting deadlines makes your work seem more urgent and facilitates efficient job prioritization. You can establish a disciplined framework that helps you stay motivated and focused by giving yourself deadlines for reaching milestones. If your goal is to finish a large project, for instance, you can monitor your progress and maintain your commitment to the broader goal by dividing the project into smaller milestones with deadlines. Establishing a network of support is essential to upholding responsibility. Your chances of success can be substantially increased by surrounding yourself with people who hold you accountable, support your efforts, and share your values. A support system helps you stay resilient and focused by offering you emotional support, encouragement, and useful advice. If you're trying to reach a fitness objective, for instance, having a workout partner or joining a group might provide you the accountability and support you need to keep going. Sustaining responsibility is crucial to success and consistency. You can develop a systematic method to keeping on track by accepting ownership for your activities, setting formal accountability procedures, communicating your goals with others, and routinely assessing your progress. Accepting criticism, adjusting when needed, and establishing specific goals will all help you stay consistent. Developing a network of allies and remaining receptive to criticism are essential to maintaining focus and accomplishing your goals. Accountability helps you maintain motivation, reaffirm your commitment, and provide the groundwork for long-term success. In summary, attaining consistency in your goals necessitates a multidimensional strategy that involves accountability, routine development, and goal planning that is small and doable. Large goals can be broken down into smaller activities to help you make progress more realistic and feasible. This will also allow you to create momentum and recognize minor triumphs along the road. A regular schedule offers the required structure and order, which lessens decision fatigue and promotes discipline. Maintaining the efficacy and pertinence of your program requires regular reviews and adjustments. Accountability, which entails accepting accountability for your activities, communicating your intentions to others, and getting feedback, is essential to consistency. You may maintain your motivation and focus by setting up formal accountability procedures like check-ins with mentors or accountability partners and building a support network. You can stay in line with your goals by accepting criticism and adjusting as needed in light of your advancement. Combining these approaches is the secret to consistency. A strong basis for success is built by goal setting that is specific, attainable, routinely followed, and accountability upheld. You will eventually reach your goals with each tiny step you take, each routine you create, and each moment of accountability. If you adopt these habits with commitment and tenacity, you'll discover that consistency develops naturally as you work toward your objectives.